Are you back for more? Really? You really think that's that cool? I think it's that cool. Let's keep going. We have a couple more views, and like I said, I'm trying to go by degree of difficulty here. You would think like something like an on-demand button that you click with a spinner and everything that goes and gets the version or inventory or the whole thing. It's not, you've just seen it. We did it in a couple minutes together. It's not hard at all. Now I have working code I've copied and pasted, but that's not a big deal. You will have that code too at home in my Git repo. Let's keep going on to the next view. All right, so we'll go to our URLs. Search, done, right? On demand, done. HTML pages at the bottom, done. Changes. Now this one's going to be hard to test because I'm not changing the inventory, right? I'm not swapping out parts or anything. But it's very valuable from an inventory perspective, right? Did someone take an SFP from the lab and put it into production, and where did that part go in the lab? Or vice versa? Or we've installed a new blade, or I've provisioned a whole new building, and I need to capture that whole new building and as a checkpoint, and then make sure nothing changes moving forward. If I RMA something, right? Did something change from my source of truth or my golden config from an asset perspective, right? This is about asset management. So let's go ahead and make our change view. And again, right, what do? Well, we're going to take an existing view, put it in the right place alphabetically, and show inventory / changes. Power users can go directly to this URL. And then we're going to go to show inventory changes as a view, right? And now we're going to give it a name. Show inventory changes. Wonderful. Okay, so now we move into our views. And I should have a change section. CSV views. I think it's at the bottom actually. So HTML views, CSV views, we haven't got there yet. We're going to peek at CSV views. On demand just did it. Latest. No, we're looking at changes right now, not latest. All right, so here's changes. Now, this is the all changes, which we have to deal with, but let's deal with the individual change first. Okay, we're going to circle back to the all changes. I like to do that, by the way, say, here's the changes for just show version, or in this case, show inventory, or here's every change that we can detect. All right, strap yourselves in. This one is a little bit, right, we're stepping up the degree of difficulty here. And what we're going to do is we're going to define, right, show inventory changes. Now our latest timestamp is the show inventory. Now why do I do this, you wonder? Because I need to go get all records that share a timestamp. I don't want just chassis, right? If I said just latest, that would give me one record. So what I need is all the latest that share that timestamp. All right, make sense? So now that I have the latest timestamp, well, what is the current version? Well, the current version, and this is going to change to current inventory, equals the show inventory object's filter timestamp, latest timestamp, timestamp. Right? So what we capture here, use that to filter out everything. And then what do I want? So I don't want timestamp. I don't want that at my differentials at all. But this is going to be, you guessed it, everything else from the model. So we know we have operating system. I have to cheat and refer to the model real quick. We're doing show inventory, right? So we need these part description PID serial number. It's a little tricky to do the split screen with the magnifier, but I'll try my best here. Let's drag this over and go to our, no, I'm going to save that and close it. We're in our views here and give myself a little more screen space. So we need part. We want description. Again, this is to see if anything has changed in these particular fields, comparing what's in the database and what's in the JSON from PyETS, and vice versa, what's in the PyETS and what's in the database. So we can actually check the changes bi-directionally. It's pretty cool. So we're going to steal that same string in a second. So now, okay, we have the latest timestamp and the current inventory. So what do we want to do? Well, we want to go run the job. And this is actually show inventory job to go capture and repopulate the database. So now we're going to do a new timestamp, right? Which is the show inventory. Again, the exact same line from line 350 on 353. And then again, it's the exact same line. I'm actually going to steal it because I don't want to type all that again, right? So that's going to go here in the latest version is the show inventory, right? And it's not latest version, it's latest inventory. So now what we say is inventory removals and inventory additions, which is the dot difference between current inventory dot difference. Let me get rid of the split screen here. And well, what are we differencing it with? Well, we're differencing it with the latest inventory. This will tell us what has been removed. Someone pulled a line card out and we clicked the on demand button. It's going to show you that that line card is no longer in there or that it's been removed. What if we add a new line card or add a new SFP or something? Well, we do the inverse and that will tell us what has been added to the device. Now I have to make sure I don't forget this. Our rendered page is now show inventory changes and I have to pass in the correct stuff here. So I need inventory removals and I need inventory additions. All right. And I think that's all here. So now I need to move into what? Yeah, that's right. This show changes HTML. And it's very easy. Again, I'm going to go to my templates, changes, and I'm going to copy show version changes, rename it, call it show inventory changes. And again, right, I'm just going to steal HTML from some another page because all I need is the table, right? So I take this table and I go back into my show inventory changes. And I need a couple things here. I have to be careful what I delete here. Let me just delete some stuff. I'll come back to the talking. I just have to be very careful here what I get rid of. It's because this version has an extra if-else because of the iOS and XOS thing. All right, so now what I need to say is if, not version additions, but if, all right, so hang on. This needs to be inventory additions. So if there's inventory additions for part in inventory additions, go ahead and say the following inventory, let's just say configurations, but we're going to say items have been added. And it's going to list that stuff. Now we're going to say if there are no additions, say there are no additions. Now we have to do the same thing here and say if inventory removals, and then this becomes for, I'm sorry, I just tipped over the microphone. For part in inventory removals, the following inventory items have been removed. And I have to change that. I got to come back to, I just saw a mistake. I have not detected any inventory My for loops aren't right now. I have to do my for loop in inventory additions. And I have to do my for loop in inventory removals. So I believe we're able to try the change center. Now I have to update it here as well. Let me take this logic. And go into the all changes center and put it above IP interface brief right here. And then I have to update the main changes page, all right, and add a new table row. I hate that. Yeah, I want to make some consistency here. That's better. All right, so then this goes in here, and what we knew is now is say show inventory, and this becomes changes show inventory changes, and this says get inventory changes, and we have a little button ID here. I'm not using this button ID, but I may as well leave it in case I do come back to it. Now I believe that is it for changes. Server's happy. Let's try a new browser just in case. Changes. Okay, so now we should be able to try the inventory changes. And again, I'm not going to be able to simulate off the top of my head. I don't know how to simulate a change. Maybe, well, let's see here. Okay, so there's an error. I have a bad else under show inventory changes. So let's take a look at that. That's okay. We have a bad else somewhere. So for part. Yeah, I don't need that else. No, I do need that else. I'm missing the if statement. Hang on, it's this magnify. If inventory additions, and then the for part. Here, that's the problem. I don't need that for loop. I don't want that for loop. I want the for loop here. Excuse me, everybody. Let's try it again. Inventory changes. We know it's spawning the job. Okay, that's half the battle there. I'm fighting with Ubuntu. Okay, so no changes. Now let's take a look at. Is there something that I can change? I don't know. So show inventory 2021. Not really. I mean, I could change the alias, but that really wouldn't do us any good. Well, there's not much I can change to simulate a change, but I do know it works based on the copy paste and the logic of the other running and working change center. So that's the best I can do. Now I could also do, let me do the get all changes and make sure that our inventory changes show up on this page. I believe I've added it to the presentation layer, but maybe I have the, no, I have the bad for loops in there. This is going to fail. Yeah, you see. That's why I like to test every little function. I don't make any assumptions. I really, if I could, I would go ahead and drop a new blade in this thing or put a, make a change to the inventory somehow. But again, I'm going to have to put some faith in the code. I believe it should all work. All right, so now no inventory changes. All right, very good, very good. So now let me remind myself to turn the magnifier down. Come back to Twitch. All right, here we go. So Best we can do is build it and confirm that the no changes works. To really change it, I would need to actually affect change with a part or move it into a production environment that I could actually move some parts around. Likely not going to happen anytime soon. There's a couple more views though. We're not there yet. I'd like the latest set of inventory, and I'd like the CSVs. So those are the last two. We're ramping up on difficulty. Stick around if you're enjoying this. We'll see you real soon.